Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to unpack a fundamental mental model that governs, well, almost everything around us. It's kind of like the secret engine behind how systems evolve over time. Okay, let's just dive right into this. Because honestly, once you grasp this framework, you'll be able to understand everything from how your personal bank account actually grows to the mechanics of a whole national economy, all the way up to global climate change.
So consider this paradox for a second. We've all seen it, right? You probably know someone, or at least have heard of someone, who brings in this massive salary every single month. But when you actually look at their net worth, they have absolutely zero wealth to their name. How does that happen? Where does all that money go? Well, this is the exact knowledge gap that our framework today is going to perfectly solve.
Let's start with Section 1, the bathtub analogy. Picture a simple bathtub in your mind. The water that's currently sitting in the tub, that represents our stock. The water pouring in from the faucet, that is our inflow. And of course, the water draining out the bottom represents our outflow. The total amount of water in the tub changes based entirely on the tug of war between those inflows and outflows. If the faucet is pouring in more water than the drain can let out, the water level rises. If the drain is faster than the faucet, the water level falls. It's a wonderfully simple concept, but as we're going to see, it applies to households, huge businesses, governments, and even entire environmental ecosystems. Moving on to Section 2, defining stocks and flows. What's really fascinating here is how we deal with time. A stock is a quantity measured at a very specific point in time. It literally has no inherent time dimension of its own. You can think of a stock exactly like a photograph, just a quick snapshot. It shows the exact condition of a system at a given instant. For example, if you open your banking app and it says you have 50,000 rupees on June 1st, that is a stock. The global population of 1.4 billion people today, also a stock. It just sits there and only changes when it's acted upon by something else.
So how does this build into our second concept, the flow? Well, a flow is a quantity measured over a period of time. It represents movement, activity, or a rate of change. If a stock is a photograph, a flow is like a video. It always includes a time dimension. So instead of just a raw number, you'll hear phrases like per month or annually. A salary of 60,000 rupees per month is a flow. Carbon emissions per year is a flow. Flows are the active things occurring continuously through time to either increase or decrease our static stocks. Let's put them head to head to really cement the difference. A stock is totally static. It's the accumulated quantity. A flow is dynamic. It's the quantity that is actively moving or changing. Think about a warehouse. The 5,000 units currently sitting on the shelves, that's your static stock. The 1,000 units you're selling per week, that's your dynamic flow. And crucially, for our opening question, wealth is your static stock, while income is your dynamic flow. All right, Section 3, the math and feedback loops. We'll start with a super relatable number to make this concrete. Imagine your starting stock is a savings account containing 50,000 rupees. Right now, at this exact second, that's your snapshot.
Now, over the course of the next month, the clock starts ticking and your flows kick into gear. You get an inflow of income totaling 20,000 rupees. But you also have a drain in your bathtub, right? Let's say a few too many online shopping sprees result in an outflow of 15,000 rupees. The math is beautifully simple. Beginning stock plus inflows minus outflows equals ending stock. So 50,000 plus 20,000 minus 15,000 leaves you with a brand new ending stock of 55,000 rupees. Your flow of savings actually accumulated to create a larger stock. But wait, here is the real aha moment. We just saw exactly how flows create stocks, but the relationship actually works in reverse, too. The stock you accumulate literally has the power to determine the size of your future flows. Let's look at wealth and interest income to see this feedback loop in action. Suppose your savings stock has grown all the way to 1 million rupees, and let's say you're getting an interest rate of 5%. That static stock of 1 million rupees now generates a brand new annual interest flow of 50,000 rupees. A larger accumulated stock naturally generates a much larger flow. This is exactly why building capital is so incredibly powerful. Your stock basically starts opening up its own faucets.
Okay, let's zoom out. Section 4, real-world macro systems.
This stock flow pattern repeats across literally all major financial disciplines. You've got wealth as a stock, influenced by the flow of income. Capital is a stock, grown by the flow of investment. The overall money supply at any given moment is a stock, influenced by the continuous flow of money creation. And very importantly, a nation's debt is a stock, while its borrowing, or its deficit, is the flow. We are definitely coming back to that one in a minute because it is highly misunderstood. But hey, it's not just about money either. Think about an entire country's population as a giant bathtub. The current population is the stock of water. What are the faucets? Births and immigration are the inflows, constantly adding to the population. And the drains? Deaths and immigration are the outflows. If you ever want to know if a country's population will rise or fall over the next year, you just have to look at the tug of war between those specific human inflows and outflows.
This framework brilliantly illustrates our environmental challenges too. Atmospheric carbon dioxide is a stock. It's the massive accumulation currently present up in the sky. Our industrial emissions are the inflow, actively pouring carbon into the tub. Forests and oceans act as the drain, providing carbon absorption. This perfectly explains why environmental damage is so incredibly hard to reverse. Even if we slow down the flow of emissions, like even if we turn that faucet down a little bit, the atmospheric stock will just keep rising as long as the emissions pouring in remain greater than the absorption draining out.
Bringing it all home with Section 5, why the distinction matters. We see this mistake practically every day in the news when folks talk about government finance. People will hear that the government ran a deficit of 1 trillion rupees, and they automatically think the total debt is just 1 trillion rupees. Completely incorrect. The deficit is just the flow. It's just the amount of new water added to the tub this year because the government spent more than it collected. The stock, the massive accumulated national debt, could already be sitting at an enormous 100 trillion rupees. Confusing the yearly flow with the total stock completely changes how you view a nation's actual financial health.
Which finally answers our opening question. Income is a flow. Wealth is a stock. A person can have a massive, roaring faucet of income pouring in every single month. But if their spending drain is completely wide open, letting out cash just as fast as it comes in, well, the bathtub never fills up. They accumulate zero wealth stock. Understanding whether a variable is a stock or a flow truly gives you a superpower. It allows you to see exactly how your present actions shape your future outcomes. So I'll leave you with this thought to ponder today. Take a close look at the systems you operate in every day. How are the faucets and drains in your own life managing your personal wealth? Are you just managing the flow of water, or are you actually filling the tub?